we've got our special guest here. I was getting on Alex's case, our producer, because I want to roll up in this bitch and I want to start talking. Well, there's a play. We're going to get to our special guest. There's a play I think called Interspeaking.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Intertalking.
Okay.
It must be some, I don't know.
Noel Coward?
Neil
Simon?
Neil Simon. Okay. Do you know that? What is?
No, but I'm like a big Googler. So I would go straight to the Google and just, you want me to do that for you?
Yeah, well, right on.
Right.
You're hearing our special guest right now. It's Dan Levy.
Dan
Levy.
Dan, we have to talk about why why it is Levy and not Levy.
I
Alex,
don't know.
I pushed that.
Oh, should I speak?
Okay.
Here we
No.
go.
Yeah,
Right,
talk into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. On paper, same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere in the desert
Levy,
somewhere, we
right.
parted ways.
Is it because you're from Canada?
It might be. Because I've owned a lot of the U.S. Levies are Levies.
Are you a Jew?
I am.
Yeah, well then it's
Wait a minute.
Levy.
The U.S. Levies
I don't know where we get to-
We're Levies. They're Levy.
Oh, okay.
Like, it looks the same written down. I don't know how it came to be.
Right, because like in Beverly Hills, Rodeo is Rodeo, but in the hood, it's rodeo. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe they're bougie Levies by calling themselves Levy.
Right, because Levy, you know what? I know what it is. Levy is more French. Levy is Levy. Levy is
All
more
right.
French.
Okay, let's
You
go
know,
with that.
Okay.
That's what
That
we're gonna
sounds
do.
good.
Levy.
That sounds
Levy.
real good to me.
Our special guest is Dan Levy.
Now, when you're from Toronto. I
I'm
didn't
from
say
Toronto.
the second T. When did you realize that your father, Eugene Levy, was famous? When did you realize he was famous?
I don't know. I don't think I connected fame with attention. Because growing up, I was always like, I was a pretty introverted kid, and we'd go out and people would talk to us, but I don't think I associated what he did with what was happening. I just knew that I didn't like it, and it was really uncomfortable.
You didn't like people interrupting your family time with your father.
Well, no, or just on the streets, or just people sort of, I didn't like the attention that would happen. And I think for a long time, I sort of tried to distance myself from it. And, only recently did we have that conversation, sort of looking back at the kind of separation that happened in our past. And I actually had to talk through with him why I acted a certain way when we were out.
Okay, so back up. You're saying that first of all, you just mentioned something about a separation with him.
Yeah.
Was there a time when you weren't speaking with him?
No. It wasn't like a separation. There was just publicly, I would always walk a few steps ahead, or I would be sort of weird when we were out in public.
avoid
and he didn't know why that came to be.
Right.
I assumed that he knew, and only within the past probably 5 years did we actually have the conversation and sort of contextualize my bizarre behavior while we were out.
And you have a sister.
And I have a sister.
Is she the same way as you, or was she different?
I don't think she. No, I don't know. I don't.
Who I want to call Twyla, but no.
Yeah.
Her actual name
Sarah.
is Sarah.
Yeah.
Right. She played a character named Twyla.
She
right?
plays one now on Schitt's Creek on their hit
Yeah.
TV show.
Yes, on Netflix. You can watch it right now.
It's on Netflix or Pop here in America. It's on CBC.
CBC in Canada.
Yeah. And Twyla and Dan are Eugene's children, and they both look just like him. Like they both have
think that?
100%.
I do not think. I see similarities. I see. You've got your father's
eyebrows.
You've got your father's eyes.
Cheekbones. Eugene Levy's cheekbones are very prominent, and the man, I believe, is 70 years old, and he looks.
Is he 70?
He's 70 years
beautiful.
old.
Gorgeous, beautiful,
beautiful
lovely,
man.
lovely.
That gorgeous hair, those eyebrows.
And there's a sweetness to him.
Oh yeah,
that is just lovely. We got. To, I don't. If you. I'm SCTV.
SCTV. Yes,
I'm SCTV.
Yeah.
Me too. When's the first time you saw SCTV?
Growing up, we'd watch it.
Oh, you'd watch it?
Yeah.
Because you're not 83.
83.
That's later.
So I came like right at the tail end of the show. Mm-hmm. And so we had just the whole series on cassette tapes. Uh-huh. And every once in a while he'd like pop one in VHS. And educate us on what comedy was.
Yeah.
And we loved it. But, going back to your point, he would always work. We were in Toronto, and he would work in LA. So what he did professionally was so separated from what we knew that it really was a completely different.
I mean, for all you knew, he could have been a gigolo.
Yeah.
A male prostitute.
That would have been that. I would have had a book out by now if that were the case.
He worked in Hollywood, so he sort of. Well, I fell in love with him in Splash.
In the movie, he's in the movie Splash.
In the movie Splash,
he's the guy. He's the guy that's trying to splash her with the water.
And he gets stabs his leg with the with the at the dentist with the Novocaine. It's the one of the funniest physical comedy acts you'll ever see is in that movie with Eugene Levy, and he's obviously SCTV and he's brilliant. And Catherine O'Hara, there are no words to describe the brilliance of her, which is what makes Schitt's Creek to me the best scripted television show out right now. It's brilliant.
That's so nice of you
and
to say.
Dan writes it, and Dan is the creator, and I guess that off of what Ru asked you and what you just talked about, MTV entered there somewhere. So obviously came around and said, well, I'm ready for
which is a
prime
weird
time.
thing. So, you go through high school and you're like introverted. And I was also in the closet for a lot of it.
Right.
And like, that does a number. And then, through university, I got to a point where I realized, okay, I'm not a very socially functioning functioning, in a way
Socially
awkward and just uncomfortable. I was just not comfortable in my skin. So I got on a plane to London, got a job at ICM, which is the agency in London, and thought, okay, if something's going to pull me out of my shell, it's going to be a room full of screaming agents. And it worked.
In the mailroom.
I was an agent's assistant, so I had to answer the phones, which was like a huge thing for me to actually just pick up the phone and talk to a stranger.
Really?
And how you just chose that to pull you out of your shell is bizarre.
It was it was sort of kismetic. Like it was.
Oh, I love that kismetic.
Yes.
It was. My dad had sort of connected me with someone, and through the Plinko process, I ended up getting this opportunity. Anyway, came back to Canada, having done 6 months of that, and thought to myself, all right, there's an opportunity at MTV. I'll go and see what I can do.
Were you a
there.
changed person after those 6 months?
I was a person that was willing to take a chance.
Which is much better than what you were before.
Which is a far more freed version of what I was before.
And so in hindsight, when you look back at the person you were before London, what was that about? Was that just teenage angst? Or?
I think it was just a ton of insecurity.
Yeah.
Being in the closet doesn't add.
Yeah,
It doesn't help.
I think you're just not operating at full steam. You're not being your most authentic self. And I think, starting that at like 17, 18, you're just sort of a little bit behind.
And which is crazy because Toronto's a pretty open.
Oh, I love Toronto.
I know. We were just talking about this.
Oh my God, I love Toronto so
It's a pretty
much.
open city.
You know what? It's very much like what New York used to be. The multicultural and people who are woke.
Right.
They is woke. They're present in a loving, kind way.
Yes.
Now New York is just all rich people mostly, who are just sort of transplanted there. Toronto, I was just there last summer or something like that. I love it so much.
It's such a great town.
Yeah, it is. Black squirrels. They have black squirrels
and
there.
white squirrels.
They have white squirrels.
Oh, that's sweet. All living together in harmony.
All
Fully
living in harmony.
integrated.
That is the
So
Toronto.
nice.
That is the Toronto life.
It's just brilliant. Okay, so
and you shoot in Toronto,
we
don't
shoot
you?
in Toronto. Yeah.
really?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not Vancouver.
It's no, we're in Toronto for the whole. It's a Canadian.
And where's the motel's an actual motel?
The interior of the motel is not an actual
Right.
motel.
But the
see, that's how they make
exterior
movies,
stuff.
Michelle.
No, but I was. But there's a full exterior. It's a full motel.
It's a
I
full
know
motel,
the interiors.
which for anyone who watches is actually a They've turned a roadside motel into a housing unit for a varsity basketball team. I don't ask a lot of questions.
Okay.
But I know that in the off
the
season it's
smells.
painted like black and red or something really grotesque, and so we come in like 3 months out of the year and
yeah,
and make
it look okay.
Right.
yeah.
And then it goes back to what it is.
Now, you and your father, you have a company that produces the show. How do you start a company? Do you say, okay, Dad, look, I'm really digging you. I'm not going to walk ahead of you when we're in the streets anymore.
I'm ready to walk by your
I'm
side.
by your side. I've done some television. You've done some television.
Little
Why
bit.
don't we just start a company? So what do you first do? Okay, let's get a loan. What do you do first? A loan? Pick a building? Paint it black and red?
That's
I was wondering.
step by step how it happened. No, we just sort of I think the first step is putting a team together that you really trust. And then from there, everything got built out. Like we hired the right people to sort of facilitate the show. Because
Yeah, you hired, but what do you pay them? Where do you get the capital? Do you get a
Well,
loan?
somebody's gotta
in
put up the
our
money.
case, the company came after the show was greenlit. So we knew that we had money coming in, and you basically facilitate the company based on what you're getting.
Whose idea was it? Yours?
I think it was
Schitt's Creek?
Yeah, it was like I think it was more of a result of just thinking like, okay, well, we should probably start something. You're gonna have to put a name on it at the end anyway. Like there's gonna have to be some kind of company tag card or something.
Right.
Whose idea was the show itself?
Mine.
Yours.
Yeah, I came to him with this like little grain of an idea about what would it look like for a wealthy family, considering how much we know about wealthy people these days, whether we care to or not. It's just around us. What would it look like if one of those families were to lose everything? And something about the idea of exploring what a family dynamic is without money was fascinating to me.
Who are you so used to money?
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at the Real Housewives, you look at the Kardashians, you look at all of these sort of where it's so excessive that you wonder, okay, what's happening behind closed doors?
Yeah.
I'm not passing judgment on any of it, but I'm saying in our case with this family, they were basically bandaging all their problems with money.
Sure.
And it felt like a timely sort of story to tell of having to rebuild and reprioritize and recontextualize like what love means.
Now, okay, so you get the green light for this story, for the show, and then you say, well, we've got money coming in. We can hire a production staff and rent a building and paint it colors and whatever. So, okay, so how do you know how much the show is going to cost? Who said, CBC, we have this show, and they great, let's go for it.
Yeah.
So, and then CBC says, well, how much is this going to cost us? Well,
Do you default to your
it's gonna-
dad?
Well, no,
Yeah.
there's a producer that was hired to put a budget together, and then you work out the financing between, a variety of different
Parties.
and hope that it all comes together. And in our case, it did. We were lucky enough to have all the pieces fit, and I think that's where you realize how, in terms of getting a show on TV, it's like a needle in a haystack.
So hard.
oh my God.
Oh, it's insane.
And then for it
It's
to hit
insane.
is even.
Yeah, for it to stick around.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You might
I
do
know,
get that
it's-
one season, but then
to get another one, yeah,
and then another
and
one.
then another one,
Yeah.
Did they ever want to say, cute idea, can we change the name?
Yeah, actually, we sat at a big conference table with some executives, and at one point, someone said, "So what if we called it Up a Creek?" And we were like, you know what? It doesn't have the same ring to it. Does it?
Do you find hesitation from people to say, like, I think I saw
Gosh,
you.
the best is the morning talk show
Them try to say it.
hosts
Right.
who are used to like a very
Buttoned up.
up morning. I didn't know it was as tender a time as it. People feel very sensitive in the morning. I don't know what it is. It's actually worked in our favor because a lot of times they can't say it. They have to show like
The Chiron. The words.
yeah.
They cannot say
They
it.
can't say it, even though it is a legitimate last
Yeah,
name.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
SCHITT.
Saw you on someone's show. Don't know. Conan, Kimmel, which one?
Sure. Colbert, potentially.
Okay.
Yes.
But then he was saying, I'm only saying, even Colbert was like, I'm just saying this because it's what it's called, but we're going to show it before I say it.
Yeah.
And he showed it. He goes, now I can say it's Schitt's Creek. It's like, what society? In London, for example, they say fuck, cunt, everything on television.
Yeah.
After 9 p.m., okay? They can say pretty much anything, but you can only say it a certain amount of time.
Did you see that Samantha Bee the other night when they went to Ireland talking about Donald Trump's golf course and how the people in Ireland hate him so much? And they had this little girl in a pub. She was probably 5 years old.
In a pub.
Well,
that's pub
and
lifestyle.
she says, Donald Trump's a cunt.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
Did
you go.
you guys see that on Samantha Bee?
No, but now I will.
Yeah.
Now I'm running to my computer after that.
But there's a freedom over there, and even on broadcast television, regular, not even cable, that exists, that doesn't exist in our world. I don't know how Canada is, but America's
You know what I
real
think?
tough.
It just feels like the European, they've just adjusted to the fact that the human body is a very normal, natural
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
And that words are just words.
Correct.
And, unless, if they're used maliciously, that's a completely different story.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
we are a hypersensitive continent.
Yeah.
We
it
certainly are.
feels like.
Because, and it's a good point, is the intent behind words is what people really need to focus on. We
Words
say
don't have
lots.
power.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's the intent
the
behind it.
intent.
Is it coming from a place of love or is it coming from a place of cuntiness?
Which we know
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 is usually cunty.
Yeah. Are those Lily Galacci lashes
They
you're
are
wearing?
not. They're Ela Mosca. Thank
Who?
you for asking.
Ela Mosca?
Yeah, Ela Mosca. It's a British company.
They're
Aren't they?
really
Lovely, by the way.
pretty.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
She got up and dragged because Dan is
I
here.
did. Just
Yeah.
because I want a really good picture, and usually I look like death becomes her. So these are the lashes that I wear all the time, that whenever I wear them, people go, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
And then, of course, I send people to La Mosca, and they've been discontinued.
Of course.
So the owner inboxed me and said he was going to put them out and
Yeah.
call them Visage.
Of
So
course.
We'll see
Of
what
course.
There you go.
happens.
Ela Mosca.
Yes.
Have you ever done drag?
I haven't.
Oh.
I don't know if I don't know if I would I look very good?
Well, we got to just figure it out.
I guess we gotta figure it out.
It's one
I
of
think
those
so.
things.
I
that-
would love to.
Yeah.
I once dressed up as Suri Cruz for Halloween.
Right on. She's a great fashion icon. I love that girl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was bone chilling.
Really?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
identical.
how you look so much alike.
Similarity.
Sure, let's
Yeah.
go with that. It was terrifying.
Why?
Because I just didn't. I mean, I have a very like Hebraic-looking face that
I love
that you're like bringing to a young girl's, what people are perceiving as a young. The whole combination was madness.
Oh, Kismetic and
Hebraic.
Wow.
Just add an IC and people will sort of believe
Yeah,
whatever you're
I
saying.
I
ultimately.
love that. And your mother has a drag name. What's your mother's name?
My mother's name is Deborah Divine.
Work.
Divine.
Deb Divine.
Yeah.
And
Deb
she
Divine.
was in the business or is in the business.
Well, she's written. She's
Writer.
first and foremost, she's a mom.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hardest job
That's what we
in
are.
all of the land.
That's
Cheers.
right. And most people are failing at it, unfortunately.
No comment.
Okay, we got Dan Levy here from Schitt's Creek. We got lots more
You
to
can't
ask.
say that. You can't.
I can't say that. Lots more to ask him. Stay with us. Squarespace is the dream of every creative person out there who wants to make their own website. They've made it so easy for anybody who's got a creative side or who just wants to expand on their lives and to share their lives with other people. Could it be any easier, Michelle?
No, that's the thing. And don't think for a minute, Squarespace, we didn't see that you used John Malkovich. But I will say this. We are big proponents of it because we have seen it work and we believe in it. It is so freaking easy to make a website with Squarespace.
Absolutely. Welcome
Children are doing it.
Everyone's doing. Welcome to the 21st century, as it should be. Businesses, if you're an artist, if you're a photographer, if you are a dance instructor and you want to show people what you have to offer, go to Squarespace.
Yes, you guys, you can make a gorgeous website in minutes using their beautiful templates. Of course, the drag and drop platform that we always joke about, but it actually is fantastic. And when you're ready to purchase a plan, get 10% off with the offer code RU. That's squarespace.com. Offer code what?
Are you?
Holla.
Girl, I want to talk about that Squatty Potty. I saw that clear one you have now.
Oh, she is just coming out.
Uh-huh.
I got the first release right off the presses. But here's the thing, Ru. I bought a Squatty Potty like 2 years ago before kind of people were talking about, obviously, before we had them on the show.
Yeah.
And they really changed my life because I had issues. And I also knew what I was doing was not healthy.
But you've had a high colonic. You know, when you go and
Yes.
have a high colonic, they when you're finished, they tell you go in the ladies' room
Yes.
and evacuate the rest of
Yes.
what may be in there. And they all have Squatty Potties in there.
They do
So that's
indeed.
how you're supposed to do it.
And if you have no idea what we're talking about, it's like a little footstool that goes around the toilet. So your knees come up and they're in the position. It's almost like a birthing position,
Yeah.
but not quite as high. But that's the original birthing position.
Exactly.
Correct way to do it. So Squatty Potty offers the ultimate and complete elimination. No joke, you guys. The science is simple. Squatting at the toilet unkinks your colon, allowing your body to shed all that stuff inside. And Squatty Potty offers multiple toilet stool designs. So if this, like when I got the white one, that's all I had back then.
It was
that's
a white plastic
white
one,
plastic.
right?
But now they have come so far with beautiful wood
I have a
ones. and-
teak one. I think it's teak.
Teak wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have all beautiful ones, making your porcelain throne fit for any king or queen. Aw. Join the movement by visiting squattypotty.com/Ru and receive a free bottle of Fruity Booty toilet spray.
Say what?
Fruity Booty toilet spray with a purchase of $20 or more. I know a lot of Fruity Booties.
Uh-huh. Hey.
I'll just say it. Remember, a happy colon is a happy life.
Hey, we are back with Dan Levy from
Can I just
Schitt's
say
Creek.
how great it is to be here?
Really? Why?
I'm such a fan of this podcast.
Why?
Because I think it's great.
Why?
Why?
I know.
I don't know.
Why?
I
I just
guess
wanna know. No.
I just like the conversation. I like the energy. I like the humor. I like the interviews. I will say this though. I was listening to the Anna Faris podcast, and everyone was talking about how you don't shower after a bath.
I don't.
Right.
I will say this. I felt incredibly shamed as someone who does shower after a bath.
You shower after a bath?
Well, it depends.
My daughter
First of all,
does too.
I don't take a lot of baths,
Yeah.
and usually if I'm taking a bath, it's because I am needing to relax.
Relax,
Okay.
right.
Which means that I probably haven't gotten out of my clothes in a couple days.
Sure.
Maybe it's a circumstantial thing.
Because do you feel
I'm
dirty?
not my cleanest when I go into a bath.
Right.
I'm like going in
Oh.
to get sort of spiritually cleansed, but then I take my shower.
So it's a mikvah.
Clean.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
Right.
exactly what it is.
A mikvah? What is
A
that?
mikvah. A mikvah is the bath. Well, in Reform world and even Orthodox, you take that bath as it's almost like a baptism.
Okay.
That's your vow to convert. It cleanses you of everything. But Jewish women take mikvahs every week on the Sabbath. And
I've never heard that term before.
yeah, a mikvah bath.
Mikvah. Mikvah. And it means, Alex, do you know what
It's a cleansing. It's
Just
a
a
cleansing
cleansing.
bath.
A cleansing.
Yeah. There's mikvah baths on Delancey
Yeah.
down in New York City on the Lower East Side. There's a lot of mikvah baths. And there's all
Like a
different
public
kinds.
bath?
Yeah, there's public ones. There's ones that are private. Some are really beautiful. I went to a Korean spa recently that was not unlike a mikvah situation.
Yeah. How
We'll
was-
talk about that
okay,
later.
okay.
Oh, you want to talk about that
Well,
now?
I mean, we could talk about it now. I've never been to a Korean spa.
it's-
I know a friend that got a staph infection there once.
Ooh.
So that sort of,
Yeah. Puts the kibosh on the mikvah.
not to really
Well.
put a damper on what you're about to say.
Oh,
Was it good for you?
it was amazing. I went with a
Yeah.
Korean friend, thank
Okay,
God.
yeah.
So I know there was chatter, and I was like, what are
Right.
they saying? 'Cause I know they're talking about my nails. I know they are. I know they're talking about my bald pubis. So, you basically go and they make you bathe before they do anything to you, which
Sure.
is brilliant.
That's
Yes.
okay.
So you go sit in the people stew, which I hate, a hot tub that's public. That
Right.
you want to talk about freaking people out?
Yeah.
Talk about staph infections.
Yeah.
People
Just
stew.
don't put the head under.
Correct.
Yes, right.
Stay
Yeah.
above. Stay
Right
above.
above the
Right.
water.
Then you go into the cold, and then there's steam rooms and saunas. You can go back and forth, and then they take you in to like basically Purdue chicken like factory. There's all these tables, and then they have these buckets of warm, delicious water, and you lay on this table that's not cush really. It's just got a little bit of a bounce to it, and they're just taking these mitts and they rub on this stuff and they scrub you to filth, like you're
between me down there.
everywhere. They are not shy. They are spreading you wide open. I'm like, oh,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah.
Vulva scrub. I didn't know that was
Now let
coming.
me ask this: Is this a private situation,
No,
or
not
is
at
there
all.
just tables of people
It's
getting
tables
their
of
things
people.
scrubbed?
Oh, see, I couldn't
Got
do
it.
that. No.
Right, that's intense.
But I think it's obviously it's cheap. I think there's other ways to do it that might not be as cheap, and it's not as exploratory.
Yeah.
right. You lost me at exploratory. You lost me at exploratory. I just have to say.
I'm not pregnant, which is
Right.
good. Yeah.
Right.
But you walk in these older Korean women, I'm saying 60s, 70s are there in a black bra and black panties. Some are lacy. And no, I'm not even kidding. And they're just flipping you around. She's like, flip. I'm like, all right. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Was that here in Los Angeles?
It was downtown
right.
in Koreatown.
Wow. That's amazing.
I felt like I was 13 and I loved Hello Kitty when I walked out. It was
Yeah.
beautiful
Right
situation.
On. Right on.
It was actually one of the best things I've ever done. Like your skin was glowing, honestly. I don't know if that was the MRSA.
Well, I
or-
mean, it feels like they've really buffed you up.
They sure did. Like a 1954 Chevy. It was good. It was good. So I really enjoyed it.
So-
How did we get on that topic?
No, we were talking
was
about
curious.
bathing after
bath. Shower.
No, after
Shower after a bath.
showering
There were
after a
very
bath.
strong opinions on that
Yeah.
chat about bathing after or showering after a bath.
So, well, the point is, the people that shame me, when we talk about shaming, will say, ew, how could you
Right.
soak
It's a
in your own
film.
dirt?
Right.
But I have salts. I have sudsies.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting in my filth. Like it. Just,
Right.
I didn't
There's a
roll
lot
around
going
in
on
the
in the
mud
bath.
in a
Sure.
barn for
Right.
3 hours.
Right.
I just came from a day of work. Maybe a little sweat from working out, a little salty residue.
Yeah, because I don't think of a bath as a cleaning. I think of it as a meditation. So
Yes.
I will
Yes.
light candles.
Yes.
I will put on my music
Correct.
and some bubbles and salts and all that stuff. But I'm not
Do
going
you
to
feel
take.
dirty after it?
No, I don't feel dirty after it.
Exactly. I didn't feel dirty going in. Dan Levy, go. go.
See, I usually am coming from a barn where I'm filthy.
Fresh off of a sling.
Yeah, it sounds like a personal problem.
I don't know. It's a bath is a I have to feel like I need a cleansing if I'm doing a bath.
You're just a shower
And
guy.
the last time I did it, someone was talking about Epsom salts.
Yes, very good for you.
Very good for you. Me, of course, completely incapable person. I'm just throwing that out. Took the Epsom salts, didn't know how much to put in.
You have
Got
Google,
in the bath.
Dan.
Yeah, I know. I just it was a bath. The bath was running. I panicked. I poured the salts in.
How much?
I got in. Then 25 minutes, half an hour, I got out. Went to take my shower. Passed out in the shower.
Because you
There was so much salts
Yes.
extracting the
Yes.
toxins from my
Yes.
body that I was just a limp rag of a human when I got out.
You depleted all your electrolytes.
I'll tell you, it's not a fun thing to wake up sort of after having just lost it in a shower, naked, like in a curled in a ball in the shower.
No, you're for real though, aren't you? You actually did pass out? Michelle, now explain what happened.
Right. So what happens with Epsom salts is it does detoxify. It pulls out your electrolytes and all those things that you need. Now, it's really good for detoxing. Even if you just want to do a foot soak, it's so good because it pulls stuff out of your
How
body.
much should you put in?
A cup?
A cup?
I see. Right.
Chat. Next time you'll text me before you put some Epsom
You'll be
salts.
getting a big old text. I'm trying it again.
I will send you a video.
How much again?
What
should I do?
I'm going to send videos with arrows pointing to measurements. Yeah.
Oh, it was
so
dark.
that's really, I mean, I've woken up in showers.
It wasn't like a full, it just got really doozy and then, slumped onto the floor.
Because I saw a naturopath years ago who said you put in a half a cup of Epsom salts and you put in a half a cup of bleach. And what you do...
hold on.
Yes.
What?
Yes, it pulls out the metal... something metals.
Heavy metals.
Heavy metals,
Yes.
right.
Not
But-
AC/DC.
Not that. But she said what you do is you wait in the tub until the tub water is equal to your own body temperature. And that is when it pulls out all the heavy metals.
I agree with all of that except the bleach.
No, she said put in bleach. And this is a naturopath, Dr. Linda.
I don't give a fuck.
Dr. Linda said that.
Bleach is not something, bleach is so toxic. Bleach is so toxic.
Well, okay. All right.
Did it sting anything?
No, it didn't sting. It didn't sting. And I didn't feel any difference, by the way. I didn't feel anything. But I'm going by, she's a medical doctor and she's a naturopath.
And I'm sure she's fantastic. And there's a lot of
I just love that
people-
we've got to the point where there's like an art of bathing.
Right.
It's like a 5-step process to just get in a bath. Anyway.
No, but that's an interesting point too, because there's so much about this experience on this planet of what you can do with your body and how to navigate what you should do and what you can't do. Nobody knows. Everybody's walking around like they know the instructions. Nobody knows.
But that's
anything.
why there's a right, when we were talking about with Adam Conover about GMOs, there's a right and a wrong thing. And I feel like if you want to soak in bleach, baby, I love you so much. There's other ways to lighten your skin. You could just ask me. But I'm going to opt not to do that. I'm going to opt not to eat GMOs. But if y'all want to, go ahead. You can grow a tail. I'll pet it.
Yeah.
Feed it.
Great.
Yeah.
So you're right. There is no,
Instruction
manual.
book. Yeah.
So you got to do what works for you. I'm going to suggest Dan doesn't soak in bleach and Epsom salt just because I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, no, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah, don't know.
That'll,
And so you have this sister, but you only have your sister. And so you didn't have, who was there to teach you about things? I know you were 18 when you moved to London?
Yeah, I spent some, I mean, it wasn't a full move, but it was a long trip.
Where did you live in London?
I lived in just north of Soho, actually.
Oh, nice.
What is that?
Well, I mean, it was sort of nice. The story is pretty disgusting, actually.
Go on.
Really?
Yeah.
So I
Does it involve a sling or Crisco?
No, it's some
Bleach.
Crisco.
Oh, okay.
So
We're all ears.
if anyone's eating, listening to this,
Take a pause.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I move into this apartment that I found on the internet. Now, this was like 12 years ago.
Adam
The
for
internet
Adam, or-
I didn't even know existed back then, but apparently it did. Found this place. There was no pictures. There was like, I just got the size and the location and thought, okay, well, this looks safe.
I'll take it.
So I get up there and the guy had said to me that
So hold on, sidebar. You moved to London without knowing where you were going to live?
Yes.
Carry on.
Yeah. So I was like 19. So you know what I mean?
Back
I was
in
trying. I was like, live, eat,
youth
pray,
hustle.
loving.
Yeah.
Attempting, at least attempting to. So I get to this unit, and it's a nice looking 1-bedroom apartment on the top floor of this house. And I, of course, the first thing I do is put my gloves on and sterilize the whole place.
Sure.
So the guy has told me that it was a woman and her daughter that lived there before me.
Okay.
So I'm cleaning, and I'm pulling the bed out from the wall, and I hear like a thump behind the bed. And at this point, I had my glove off.
Okay.
And you're just sort of blindly reaching behind
No,
to see what it was.
no, Dan. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Nope. Don't do that. Put the glove back
what
on.
I picked up, or rather what slipped out of my hand as I picked it up, was what I could only presume to be a homemade dildo.
Okay.
It was a very phallic-shaped empty perfume bottle wrapped in a condom.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm only saying this because I know that my parents are probably, I don't know whether they're going to listen to this or not, but it's long after, so they don't have to worry.
Yeah.
Obviously used for insertion.
One would only assume.
Yeah.
Then the next day, I go down and I talk to the guy who lived downstairs, and I said, so the mother and daughter, he was like, yeah, they were hookers.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Great.
Sure.
But touching that, for me, I have
On a gloveless hand.
on a gloveless hand. My first night in London was an intense,
David,
character building experience.
David Rose, your character, is OCD. In a
to
sense.
say the least, I think. Yeah.
Because he's not, I don't think he's out. I don't know if we've ever seen him be out, but you could tell because he's so put together and he judges everybody. And David.
Which is really fun to play, actually.
Oh, you're so good at it.
Oh, thanks.
Too.
But it's more just like the blind judgment and like just not caring that you're rolling your eyes in front of someone is a really fun thing to get to do.
Because in real life, some people do that.
I'm far too
don't.
polite to do the things that he gets away with.
Are you OCD in real life?
No. I'm like clean. I like things a certain way, but I wouldn't say I'm OCD.
Right.
So as far as David, so I was telling him the way the girl that plays, who's brilliant.
She's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Oh
Who
my
plays
God.
the sister, Annie Murphy.
Yeah.
The way I just am in love with her, but the way she says David, my husband's name is David, my brother's name is David. So I can't even, every time I say my husband's name, I have to go, David. And he looks at me like I'm insane. He has no idea because he's not watching because he's watching CNN. You can't say it any other way. Was that
That was the magic that was Annie's choice with that character and the choice she made with that voice and just how bizarre those two are with each other. They're just so
gross,
strange and gross and disrespectful.
But amazing.
But love.
Yeah.
There's so much love there. That's the fun part about all of it.
Who dresses David?
I do.
Oh my
All
God.
Rick Owens?
So
I
I
can
styled
tell because of the sweater you're wearing, which is
such good
absolutely
style.
gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Who makes that sweater?
This is I found this on a sale rack at Club Monaco for $29.
It's gorgeous. The color.
There you go.
It's just fantastic.
Thank you so much.
A sale rack for how much?
$29.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I love me a steal.
That is crazy. Did the relationship with your sister on the TV show or in real life inform the TV show?
No, my sister and I are far more respectful of one another than these two. I actually think it was meeting Annie when I saw her come in and when we auditioned her for the show. There was something that she brought to this character. I mean, we've seen the socialite sort of character played out so many times on TV, and something she just brought like a sparkle to that
Great
role. There's something so lovely about how detached from reality she is.
Yeah.
And she just had, again, going back to intentions, the character has really good intentions.
Yeah.
She is the most selfish person I've ever known, and yet has good intentions. And that, I think, is why people warm.
Even with her ex-fiance, David, not my boyfriend, ex-fiance, and what she does with the camera, because where we are right now is the whole school thing. The whole going back to school. That's where we are currently. Am I correct? Do you know what's airing right now?
I know exactly that.
So, and she was the one who was going back to school first, and then David decided he wanted to go back to school too, and they're realizing that they're missing something important, which is called a high school diploma. So the way she is with him, and the driving test, and just everything that she does with you, it's just so brilliant. And then you throw in the fucking unicorn dust of Catherine motherfucking O'Hara.
I want to talk. We're going to take a quick break, but I want to talk about Catherine O'Hara when we come back from this break. We've got Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek. We'll be right back. Honey, the hills are alive with the children making their own websites, darling. We get so many letters from people who listen to our website, great emails.
Or listen to our podcast even.
Listen to our website.
Yeah, it sounds great.
It sounds great.
Yeah. I've got a letter here.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay. Hey, Ru and Michelle, I just wanted to send a brief message to say thank you for the offer code to create my Squarespace website. Not only did it save me some money, but I finally got around to making a website for a charity event that my friends and I do every year called the fabulous but very serious Las Vegas Drag Weekend.
Oh, that sounds fabulous.
We rent a bus, we drive to Vegas, get our face beat, and put on a show. The next morning, we host an awards brunch where we give out awards to those that performed. It's a really fun weekend. It keeps growing in size every year, and I'm proud that we now have a website to show it off. Here's the website. Oh, Jesus. Ready?
Uh-huh.
All right, this is from Daniel. Daniel, I'm going to kill you. www.fbvslvdw.com. I think it stands for the fabulous but very serious Las Vegas Drag Weekend.
Exactly.
So lastly, thanks for the great show. I get excited every time I see that there's a new episode. Daniel, thank you. We love you. Congrats to you.
Yeah, and keep sending those emails, kids. It's RuPaulPodcast@gmail.com. These Squarespace websites couldn't be easier to make, and they're perfect for people like Daniel to create something that's beautiful and that represents what they're doing. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and you can get a free trial with no credit card required just by going to squarespace.com. And when you're blown away like we are and ready to confirm a plan, that's when you use the offer code RU to get 10% off. You'll be getting a great deal and doing what? Helping to keep What's the Tea free.
I love the sound of that. Hey, and thanks again to Squarespace for Squarespace. Thanks again to Squarespace. Y'all are fantastic. And keep those emails coming. RuPaulPodcast@gmail.com. Okay, Michelle, what
do
you
you
gonna
know?
say something?
Because I'm amongst fellow Jews here.
Uh-huh.
Do you know about this? There's a term for it where these ultra-Orthodox Jews, not just Hasidic, like ultra-Orthodox, have a method of, do you know about this Moyle situation where babies are getting herpes and dying because they this is at a bris. Guys, I'm being really vulgar, but this is the thing. I'm not making it up. They do the bris. You know what a bris is?
Yes,
when
of
they
course.
circumcise the baby, and that's when they name the baby, and everybody.
Yes.
This is my son,
Right.
Shlomo.
Right.
And my friend, one of my best friends' nephew, just got named Shimmy.
Shimmy.
For Shimon.
I got it.
Shimon.
Oh, I love that
I know
name.
you love Shimon, so they call him Shimmy.
Shimon.
Shimmy. So they do this sort of circumcision where the Moyle does the circumcision and then puts the penis in his mouth.
Sure. Yeah.
No.
Right.
Yes. Now, I was deeply...
I've heard of that before.
I haven't. And it's only the ultra-Orthodox, and it happens a lot in New York City. But what's happening is there's this kind of rampant herpes thing that's happening. And herpes can kill a newborn because it's systemic.
Right.
So it puts it in his
that's my-
mouth, but he puts it in his mouth directly from the source?
Directly from,
Puts the
puts the penis
penis
in the
in the
mouth.
And then does not bite it off.
No, but like a Moyle,
That,
a grown
man.
man.
Would be a Dateline story. That I think we'd hear about if that were happening.
Yeah, no.
So-
Does this, not the foreskin, inserts the penis into his mouth to calm the baby after it cuts.
Oh,
There's something very
so-
wrong.
Right. And so the baby then gets herpes.
Correct,
Right.
because the Moyle has herpes in
Right.
the mouth
I see.
from putting so many baby penises.
Yeah, well, there
another
you go.
penis.
But apparently everybody has a herpes storyline. Every human alive. That's what Adam
Cells.
Conover says.
Yes, cells
on
that
his
lie
show.
dormant.
Okay.
Correct. You could be a herpes carrier without even knowing that you're a herpes carrier.
Right.
Or so I've heard.
Yeah.
And that's how that storyline plays out.
I see. Right.
Enters Overax.
Yeah, right. And so that's there's a rampage happening
In New York City. I should really do a Michelle Knows Everything TV show.
You
Yeah, it's
really should.
I know.
because
It's
I'm
kinda
learning a lot
crazy.
today.
Thank
No,
you,
it's
Dan.
important information, and you think people are trying to stop us?
So
Don't put my baby's penis in your mouth.
Yeah, so they're trying to stop this because it's such a small sect of Judaism that does it. Like when I told my friend who is Orthodox, and she's like, "Go fuck yourself. That absolutely does not happen."
Right.
I had to send her links, and she just sent me one from 2 days ago, I think 2 or 3 days ago, that actually it's happening more and more these
Now,
days.
this isn't the West Village.
No, that's a different storyline. This is not Christopher Street.
Oh, okay.
This
All right.
is like with the Jews in New York City. These
Right.
specific sect
Wow.
of Judaism that subscribes to this, and it has a name.
That's, I mean,
It has a name.
What's
and
the
you're
name,
gonna look
Alex?
it
What's
up.
it called?
what is the...
It's called something oral. Wait,
Orthodox?
no, not that.
We're covering a lot
Is
of
it-
bases
I'll look it up.
here today.
Baby Grinder, maybe?
Oh my God, I hate you so much right now.
And it's an awful thing. We're not joking about this.
No.
This is a terrible thing.
Well, what's terrible is that it's still happening with everything that's going
Right.
on.
Well, you guys are looking at now. Before the break, we
It's
were
called
going
oral suction circumcision.
Wow.
oral
Google it.
All right.
suction circumcision.
That's what you're doing tonight, Dan.
Yeah.
I got your evening planned out for you. Read all about it.
Yeah, who needs to see a movie?
No.
Was your family super religious at all?
No.
No. Did you have a bar mitzvah?
I did have a bar mitzvah.
How fun
What
was
was
that?
what? Who
was
performed at it?
I did.
And,
And
really?
yeah, I wouldn't charge money for it.
Did you do the hora?
I did. No, we didn't have a party. So it was like we did a lunch. My mom planned it. So it wasn't the conventional party with the sparkle things and the glitter beads and the whatever it is you get
and
at
the ice cream bar.
DJ, the ice cream bar and stuff.
Oh wow!
we did
that
like a
sounds
very
fabulous.
sensible lunch.
Oh.
Okay.
You
Did
know,
at your house, or did you guys
no, we
rent
went
a facility?
somewhere. We did a full thing.
Yeah.
So when you went to Temple Beth Torah, you got your bar mitzvah.
did it in a little tiny house in Toronto, a little small tiny synagogue.
Mhm. How many people?
There was like I want to say 50 to 100.
Oh.
Yeah,
You know,
people
I
showed up.
I performed at a bar mitzvah. Do you remember that time, Michelle? I performed at that bar mitzvah.
Remember?
And it was great. I wonder whatever happened to that kid.
Things go nuts when it comes to people go insane with bat mitzvahs.
Oh, and
Yeah.
sweet 16s and all that
Oh
stuff.
my
yeah. Especially in
Lord.
wealthy areas. It's
Well, especially you're thinking like this in its core is a spiritual
Sure.
experience.
Absolutely.
That seems to be overshadowed by a $500,000 party.
Yeah, or a 7-foot-tall drag queen who's performing
Listen,
at your bar mitzvah.
But how
If you had
amazing
showed
was
up
that?
to my bar mitzvah party, that luncheon would have gone off. That sensible luncheon would have been something very different.
yeah.
Oh,
No, I love that. Now, I'm interested. Before we
Yeah.
talked about Catherine
Catherine
O'Hara,
O'Hara,
and
oh,
that your
goodness.
father has such a long history with her. And how did it come up that she was cast in the show? Is he like, oh my God, that's my girl? We gonna have to call her up first
Because they work like you don't have to think
yeah,
with those
they're,
two.
they've been working together for over 40 years.
And how off script do they go?
not very off script, surprisingly.
That is surprising.
No, it's so when we were putting it together, she was always sort of the only option.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you cross your fingers and hope that she says yes. And then, fortunately, I don't know how we managed to do it, but she said yes. And we just sat down and talked to her about what this character would be and her thoughts on, because it's such a bizarre.
And her fashions.
Oh, so
Her
brilliant.
fashion.
The
We have
wigs.
the
Oh.
fittings for that. So our costume designer, Deborah Hansen, and I
amazing.
style the family.
Oh, you do. You're part of that.
Yeah. And when we did it, it's like a little Canadian show. We're like it's paying in beads and shells.
Sure, yeah.
And the one stipulation was the clothes need to be real. If this family came from millions and millions and millions of dollars, I can't have. Most people won't know, but I can't have someone in New York watching that being like, that's a Zara skirt. I don't believe this for one bit. So we eBay most of our clothes. We
Oh, of
deep
course
dive
you do.
into designer, the designer world and sort of cull all the pieces from eBay or
And
online
she can wear
sales.
anything.
She's
She's a tiny thing.
anything.
And but where do you think you got your style sense from? Mom, dad?
I don't know. I'd argue that it's I don't know. I just have always been a lot of my friends work in fashion. I've always sort of paid attention to it. I really appreciate it. I like what it does. I like
Where are
what
those
it makes
glasses
people feel. These are Saint Laurent.
They're
Of
beautiful.
course.
Thank
Saint
you so
Laurent, of
much.
course.
Okay.
Listen, But I had my own glasses company for a while.
Yes. And what happened with them?
Made my own glasses.
How amazing.
Okay, we're going to get back to Catherine O'Hara, but what
No, because we got to talk about that.
How many lives have you lived in this one lifetime?
Listen, I hustle.
Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta.
So when I was not, I left MTV. I made the choice to walk away from it. I couldn't be a host forever. I did not enjoy it.
You were like the TRL guy?
We were sort of, the Canadian equivalent of like, TRL.
Okay.
And you didn't like hosting.
I hated it.
Why?
You did it for a while, though.
Because I don't know. It was, red carpets were never, I never felt good on a red carpet. People hate to answer questions.
Right.
Especially from entertainment news outlets where you're asking weird questions that no one feels are substantial enough, and then you get sort of judgment, and the whole process is, I have so much respect for red carpet interviewers because what people don't know is that those questions are not coming from their brains.
Yeah. Right.
Those questions are coming from producers who filter them down, and then they have to ask Kate Blanchett what her manicure looks like. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's some poor person has to actually ask that.
Right.
That's not them. That's someone in a high tower somewhere, just feeding lines.
Did a celebrity ever say, what are you doing with your life?
I asked a celebrity a fashion question. Granted, it was at a fashion event for the Toronto Film Festival. She was a notable, substantial actor.
Celine Dion.
It was Celine Dion. And I got a look that could cut glass.
Ooh.
That was just, and then so she turned to me and said, "I'm here for my film."
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh.
and then walked right past me, and I was like, I didn't write these questions. It's
not my fault.
And we're at a thing for InStyle. I have to ask something.
Yeah, but that's her
But
just
there's
being
a sensitivity, and I think, I think also there was an element not to. I hope this doesn't sound, conceited in any way,
It
but
will. It
it
will.
probably will.
Yeah.
Deep down, I think I wanted to do something that someone would ask me about. I wanted to create something. I wanted to make something that someone thought was worth asking me questions about.
Yeah.
I didn't, and
That
I
was really
enjoyed it. We had
conceited.
fun, but it got to a point where I wanted to make something.
That's fair enough.
That's brilliant
Yeah.
because there is something to that sort of flesh-eating culture of, so-and-so's pregnant. We've done entertainment things before where
Many.
it's like, how basic, how lowest common denominator can you go with talking about celebrities?
Because what we're doing is we're feeding the masses.
We're feeding the masses who don't want to think about their own lives.
Correct. So it's low-hanging fruit that's easy to digest.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, did you hear so-and-so was pregnant? In your head, you're going, I don't give a fuck.
Yes. Right.
How many babies? And I hate to say it, but I did it for how many years?
Oh, many years.
How many
Oh, yeah.
years?
Yes. Yeah. See, that's where I can't watch the Wendy Williams show because it's that basic thing of, is she dating? Oh, they look so cute together. It's like, I don't fucking care. I really don't care.
That's normal.
Even now, I feel like it's
Worse
than ever.
Yeah.
And yet, what we need is intelligent people talking about
Culture, darling.
art and and
Bath
informing
salts.
bath salts and dildos
And
wrapped in
dildos.
condoms.
Yes.
But I talked for I worked for the Hills for 6 years.
You did?
Yeah.
Writing?
We hosted the Hills After Show.
Oh, you talked to Ice.
And we did sort of a tongue-in-cheek sort of
I was gonna
commentary on the show.
But
which
was it
great.
tongue-in-cheek, or were you
It
really
was.
reporting on the depth that
No,
was?
we were like,
What the hell?
it was hardcore news. It was
I mean,
investigative
reporting
journalism.
on Heidi and Spencer
Oh
and
my
Lauren.
God.
And
But we were able to sort of recontextualize for the viewer
Yeah.
that this is not something that you should necessarily aspire to, but it's entertainment.
so was it kind of like The Talking Dead, but for the Hills?
It was like 10 years ago. It was one of the
Did it have
first.
a punny name, like The
After-
Hills
it's
Are
just
Alive?
The Hills After Show. So no,
Hills
the
After
answer is
Show.
no to that.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, you know what? I get it. Everyone is. There's people that are so good at entertainment reporting. There are
Yes.
people who can,
Automaton.
communicate those ideas in really funny and innovative ways. Or, I just wasn't that person,
Okay.
and I needed to.
Can they know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
There's people who can. I'm going to say this. I don't know if they're funny or quippy or anything else, but they can deliver the information in a succinct manner.
Right.
And they enjoy it, and that's someone's
Yes.
job, and they're making some money, and that's
And they're
great.
good at it. Yes.
At the end of the day, you do you. It's all good.
I will
I
say-
just had to do something else.
Because Ross Matthews is really good at it. I love watching Ross Matthews.
Correct, because you know why? He doesn't take it seriously.
He doesn't take it seriously.
It's these people that I'm doing a serious broadcast here.
Well, that's the funniest part about it. is
Correct.
You watch a lot of these shows,
But they don't
come
get it.
out. They do these walk and talks
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
Tonight on
yeah.
Yeah.
we got the latest on so and so's divorce, and it's like, what? What? Someone
Yes.
flip the channel.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to get back to Catherine
Yes,
O'Hara for a minute.
please.
Who plays your mom on
Moira
Schitt's-
Rose.
Moira Rose. Oh my God. When did you become aware of her? I mean, was she? We in our consciousness we think of Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara together. Was your father's in The Mighty Wind also? In
Yes.
all of those movies.
All the
My dad
Christopher Guest.
wrote the Christopher Guest movies with Chris, and collectively they did, I think, 5.
The Mighty Wind,
Mighty Wind,
for
Guthman
your
Show,
consideration.
Incredible
For
Waiting
your
for
consider-
Guffman,
Waiting
which
for Guffman.
shaped everything for me growing up. Talking about the first time I felt like what my dad was doing was something that people were paying attention to. That was the moment.
Waiting for Guffman. And
Waiting
Best
for
in Show
Guffman.
was brilliant.
Best in
Best in
Show.
Show.
Oh my God.
Mascots.
consideration.
For your consideration. And Mascots,
Yes.
he's not part of Mascots.
No, they weren't part of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, okay, so when did you first become aware of Catherine O'Hara?
She's all, I mean, there's a very sort of close-knit group of Canadians
Yes.
who have all come up together. And it's really amazing to see because
Eugene
they're-
Levy, Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber,
Yes.
Celine Dion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Alan Thicke.
Yeah, Dangerous Little Pill, Alanis
Alanis
Morissette,
Morissette.
Drake,
Avril
Drake,
Lavigne.
Drake is part of that.
Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they all hang out together.
Avril Lavigne and Eugene Levy together.
Visual of my dad
Oh my God.
in a room with Justin Bieber and Avril Lavigne is enough to make me pay someone to make it happen.
You can't do that on television. Clarissa explains it all.
I like your ink. Nuts.
You do a very good
That's
dad.
a very good
Very good
Eugene
Eugene
Levy.
Levy.
He's very thoughtful. Speaks a little slow.
Yeah.
Clears his throat a lot.
But that's what makes him so
He is one
good.
of the most genuinely sweet and loving human beings.
You can tell.
The
Yeah.
most genuine.
Yeah.
it translates.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he keeps working.
He's
He's also funny as fuck.
He's very funny, which is weird because if you were to meet him, he's a very serious person.
Uh-huh.
I think Catherine is sort of a similar way. They focus on the work, but Catherine has always been a family friend, and once I started watching the Christopher Guest movies, I think that's when everything sort of happened.
You
for
got
me.
it.
I
Yeah.
got it.
It
I
clicked.
watched Catherine in the scene in Waiting for Guffman where she's drunk at the Chinese restaurant and thought, oh,
Yeah.
these are not just people that I know on
But
a
it didn't
personal
happen, like-
level. These are geniuses.
Yes.
What about Beetlejuice or any?
Well, yeah, Home Alone and Beetlejuice, and I was just watching her. She was in that Meryl Streep movie about about the divorce. What is that movie?
Oh, it's complicated.
Nope. Wait, long before.
Oh, Kramer versus Kramer. Kramer versus Kramer.
Maybe. Yeah,
That
maybe
was
that
really
was it.
good.
Kramer versus
Wait,
Kramer.
a divorce?
Was it Kramer versus?
Oh
Kramer?
no, I know
was
what it
the
is.
movie?
I know what it is. It's the where she plays Nora Ephron.
Yes.
Not Heartburn.
Heartburn,
Yes.
that's it.
Yes, she's in that.
She's
Another
in
great
that
movie.
as well. I mean, they're just, and she's had the most. She's been very thoughtful about her career, and she has so much to offer that she can
Yes.
be thoughtful about it.
Yes.
Because that's not something that should ever be exploited.
Right.
On
Her
SCTV.
brilliance.
Oh, I see. I became familiar with her on SCTV, and I do this thing all the time where she plays a Joey Heatherton type
Lola
character.
Heatherton.
Lola Heatherton. She
Yeah.
says, "I want to have your child."
But what I love about her is, like you were saying, in real life, she's like really like your father. They're sweet and
They're
they're
very funny, but they're far more serious than I think.
But that's
you would
what
expect.
makes their characters so brilliant because the Jim Carreys or the Andy Kaufmans or the blah all the time. when they're serious, it's almost like it feels wrong.
Right.
With those two, I think that's always behind their comedy. Even when Catherine O'Hara's her craziest, and Moira's had some moments.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell that behind it is because she's like that. You could tell she's really sweet and serious. That's why when she plays her shit, it comes off so authentic. Moira's really serious about her career. And
She's
she really
very
wanted
serious
that
about
Crows Have Eyes
Yes,
movies.
she did.
And, you know?
Yes, she
And
did.
It didn't happen, and she
didn't happen.
didn't want to film in Bosnia.
She didn't want to fly herself to Bosnia.
No, she didn't want to.
That's
but
not
she would
something
have.
that she wanted to. She didn't want to sign that death waiver.
She did not want to.
Did you write this? You write all of them?
I show run it, and I write about 4 or 5 an episode, but do sort of final polishes on everything. But we have an amazing group of writers, and a lot of it is broken in the room. Like, we all get together and break down the dialogue and try and punch up as much as we can in advance. But a lot of it we do leave sort of a good chunk for Catherine, and she'll sort of read outlines or scripts and come to us with notes and things that she thinks her character would or wouldn't do. And that's, I think, the magic is we give everyone their space to personalize what they do. And it's not one of those shows where it's like, say this line or fucking get out.
Yes.
It's like, we have a great cast of really talented actors who all have something to bring to the table. And
who's that girl behind the counter of that?
Emily Hampshire.
From like Stevie?
Oh my God.
She is
so great.
Talk about layers and layers and layers.
She is so amazing.
She's on another show too, isn't she?
She's on 12 Monkeys, playing a very different character. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of room to play.
And as a pansexual, that's probably a spoiler alert, but for people who are just
It's
watching.
a first season spoiler, so I feel like at
Schitt's
this point,
Creek. Well, at first you watch David and you're like, oh, he's obviously gay. But then he has this unexpected moment. I'll leave it at that for the people who are just learning about Schitt's Creek through this and are watching it. He has a connection with Stevie, put it that way. And you're like,
does this involve a fistful of Jergens lotion?
yeah, for me it did.
Okay.
Absolutely. But then you literally, cause then in my head I go, maybe I have a chance. I mean, I'm married,
Can you
but
imagine?
I might have a chance.
We need to write you in the show
Please do.
as
Give me a
David's new
chance.
love interest.
An older woman.
And that would
woman of a
just
certain age.
change the goddamn game.
Just shut it down.
Yes.
I'm just walking and just go.
Oh my
So.
God.
We've got Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek. We're going to take a real quick break and we'll be right back. I've been doing high colonics for probably 20 years, and every time I finish, the attendant tells me, go on in there and eliminate the rest.
Yes.
And that's where I saw my first Squatty Potty. It is such a great product. It changes the way we've thought you're supposed to eliminate waste.
We were never taught the right way.
Right.
If you go back into the olden days, I'm even talking like 1800, 1700, who knows, way before that. But I remember field workers and laborers, even the women, when they would be in labor, they'd give birth standing up.
Standing up.
They'd also poop the same way, standing up and kind of squatting over.
Yeah.
We got into this kind of lazy recliner, lazy boy generation where we think our poop's going to come out the right way. That's so unhealthy. It's actually the reverse of what we need to do.
Right.
Because putting your legs at a certain degree, which Squatty Potty has down to a scientific place, is it unkinks your colon, so it helps the stuff come out. I told you, I saw my daughter sitting with her feet on the toilet seat, and I was like, this what made me start to research, why is she doing this? Is it not right? And I'm finding out.
Does she look like the girl from The Ring?
That's exactly what she was like, only shitting. I'm sorry. But I literally was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And she said it just felt better that way. So that's what led me to Squatty Potty, which I bought all those years ago. But now, child, let me tell you, they have some beautiful ones. They have the Echo, they have the teak wood
That's the
finish.
one I have, a sleek teak.
It's gorgeous. They have the brand new clear ones, the Squatty Potty clear that goes with literally everything, every kind of decor it goes with.
Didn't you date a rapper named Sleek Teak?
I think I did.
Slick
Teak. He was
Slick Teak.
cousins to Slick Rick.
Yes,
But his career didn't take off.
No,
He's
it didn't. It was
strapped
in the
in the woods.
toilet, yes.
That's better than mine. I made a wood joke. You made up to yours is better. But Squatty Potty, guys, it doesn't just help you squat, though. They sell these brilliant toilet sprays, too. Now, so we were talking about poop shame in another ad. I think a lot of it has to do with the sound in a public restroom
Right.
and the smell. But the truth is, We all do it.
Yeah.
It's okay. And I have to tell you, they have this amazing, incredible new bidet. These bidets are incredibly simple to set up. There's a reason why America doesn't do it and the rest of the world does. We so backwards here. Bidets are amazing and healthy. It takes 10 minutes of work to install in almost any toilet. It's phenomenal and only costs $38. So join the movement by visiting squattypotty.com/Rue and get a free bottle of Fruity Booty toilet spray. So you don't have to worry about any kind of smells with purchase of $20 or more. So come on and join the revolution, the Ruvolution. A happy colon is a happy life.
That's right, baby.
Thank you, Squatty Potty.
We've got Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek, which is on Netflix.
It is.
It's on Pop TV.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. You got to watch it. It's so funny. And then what's his name is on it? He plays the mayor. What's his name?
Oh, Chris Elliott. Who,
Oh, my God.
as I fell in love with him, obviously. He was on the Tonight Show, was he? Or Leno?
He was on Leno, I
Letterman.
think.
Letterman.
Was it Letterman?
The Somebody Under the Stairs.
Yeah.
Right? But I fell in love with him in Get a Life. I actually bought that
Right.
whole series on DVD.
Yeah.
Because he lives up to it in Schitt's Creek, is just somebody who is so bizarre in everything he does.
Yeah.
From the way he looks to the character choices he makes to that you can't stop. I can't get enough of Chris.
Do you
Elliott.
know his father was someone, too? His father.
Bob Elliott, I
Bob
believe.
Elliott, right, from Bob and Bob. It was Bob
Bob and
Newhart.
Ray.
Bob and Ray.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Do I have this right?
Do I have this right?
Because
Do you want me to Google?
Bob Newhart had an act with a guy, and I think
Was the guy Chris Elliott's father?
Elliott's father. The producer's looking it up right now.
Chris Elliott is. But that's what
He
brings
comes
me.
from I mean, his father was a tremendous
Sure.
comedic mind.
a comic.
Yes.
Okay.
And then his daughters are both amazing.
Wait, Chris Elliott's daughters?
Abby Elliott and Bridie Elliott.
Are they on the show
Both
also?
No, they're not on the show, but they're, I mean, individually very funny actors who are, flourishing in their own right.
Do you know a lot of
Bob
children?
Elliott. Bob Elliott.
Children of stars who go on to do the thing. Is there like a club of people, a support group
Do you hang
of
out
the
with-
children of stars who then go on
Do you
to
hang out
do?
with Kaya Gerber and
I'm not cool enough to hang out with Kaya Gerber, I don't think.
Who is Kaya Gerber?
Cindy Crawford's daughter?
Yeah, very beautiful young girl. No, I don't.
Also, that'd be
have,
weird because she's like 14.
I was raised in Toronto, so I don't
Right.
have those ties to the entertainment industry. I think I'm thankful.
But
for
you
it.
live here plenty.
I'm definitely here for a bit, but I think having that separation really, you get to see the industry for what it is, which is, we should all be in it. In a perfect world, we should all be here to make good things.
Right.
It's not about really anything else.
Right.
And that, I think, is what has been so nice to grow up in Canada and have, my dad's experience be something that is very
Right.
outside of my own, because you end up just appreciating what the work is.
Yeah.
And I think between Catherine and my dad, and again, going back to what you're saying about them working together, they have the same work ethic, which is just, if the characters are great, if the story's strong, it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
we're
they're
not going to
right.
do it if it's crap.
Yeah.
And it's about the work. It's not about anything else. It's not about taking a job because you think you're going to get,
Well, see
your
that's
star meter will rise. It's about
Well,
the
that's
work.
that's for me to do. I rarely turn down a job. If I can do it, I will.
Well,
do
listen,
it.
if we're at the level of Catherine O'Hara one day, then we can say, you know what, Rue? I don't want. I just
Yeah.
want to.
Well,
I'm tired.
Or just take it all and just bathe in that cash.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But do you have to resist the urge to ask other SCTV cast members like Andrea Martin and was
Brilliant.
Marty Short part of that thing too? Yeah, all those people. Do you have to say resist doing that? Is there a
Martin
resistance?
Short's Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was part of SCTV.
Hamilton, Ontario grew up around the corner from my dad.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah. So what about that?
In a perfect world, you'd love to just speckle everyone in.
Yeah.
I mean, the end goal is to make sure that, we try and get as many sort of different people coming in for the day or a couple episodes or not. Robin Duke, who was part of SCTV as well,
Yeah.
did a small arc on our second season. So, it's like we have such a great pool of people to to pull from. It's just trying to find or write roles that warrant their skills.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
so you got Schitt's Creek, and what else do you want to do? You want to do a fashion line? You've got glasses.
I want to do a lip gloss collection.
No.
I want to do a lip kit. No.
Yes.
I'm involved in virtually every element of the show, from producing it to writing it to being in it, and then we have 3 months of post-production where I'm in an edit suite for
So it
9
takes
hours
all
a
of your
day.
time.
It's a 13-month year.
Wow.
For us.
How does that happen? Because it's weird. It's only 12.
By the end of it, you sort of go crazy about it.
So.
But I'm developing a new show now, so I'm hoping to get that going
It's called
simultaneously.
Poop Shoot.
It's called Poop Shoot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I know that.
Yes.
Different
So
network.
good. Yeah.
But listen, had success in one area. Let's just keep that theme going.
Just take a mikvah bath in between, and you're all good. You'll be cleansed, Charlie.
No, it's a good one. It's a good idea. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're in the process of fingers crossed getting the actress that we want for it. And we'll see. Hopefully at some point I can come back and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, the show is so funny. I love
Thank
it
you.
so much, and
brilliant.
continued success to
Thank you so
Dan
much.
Levy.
This has been so much
It's
fun.
so much fun. You're so much fun
I
to
told
talk
you we'd
to.
be gentle.
It's so great.
Oh, absolutely. So it's on Netflix. It's on
Pop TV.
TV
And Canadian Broadcasting Company for all Canadians.
CBC, I think you can find it on Amazon. Listen, it's just
It's-
one Google search away.
It's and
ultimately.
you will.
And you know what I
laugh.
love most, besides the brilliance of it, is it's a half-hour show.
Uh-huh.
Without ads, it's 20 minutes.
It's $21.50.
It's not like that much of a commitment.
No.
So you dip your toe in the waters with Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
And you find out you love it.
Absolutely.
You instantly a scat
That's
queen.
it. Well, that's what happens. That's what happens.
Well, thank you, Dan Levy.
Oh,
and-
the pleasure is all mine.
Lovely. Until next time,
Yes,
Michelle,
baby.
darling. Bye.
Bye.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
And don't forget to subscribe
an
on
amen?
iTunes.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Amen.